Welcome to Design Foundations, the podcast where faith, family health, and true wellness come together. I'm Kelly, an integrative health practitioner, optometrist, and mom who's been where you are. I know how overwhelming it can feel to navigate health challenges for yourself and your family. That's why I'm here, to help you uncover the root causes of those struggles and help you build an unshakable foundation for a thriving life where you feel rooted, replenished, and restored. In each episode, we'll cut through the noise, talk about practical tips, and share real-life stories to encourage and equip you. You've got what it takes to create lasting wellness. I'm just here to help you get there. Let's dive in. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Design Foundations, episode 9. I cannot even believe we are here this fast, but here we are. Today, I've got what I think is a very value-packed episode, especially for moms out there who are wanting to feel a little bit more confident in handling their family's health from a more natural perspective. So we're going to try to take the overwhelm out of the natural health world, make it practical for you to feel confident in taking care of your kiddo, of your families, when someone comes down with something, and also just for some basic immune support. Today's episode is going to be a game changer because I'm going to be talking about 13 powerful, most natural remedies. They're going to help you handle fevers, coughs, tummy troubles, basic immune support, allergies, all without those last minute pharmacy runs when someone comes down with something. So 13 is kind of a funny number. We honestly could go on and on for hours. And probably what I will do is break up these episodes into smaller chunks even later so that we can go over like allergies and talk about that specifically. But for the sake of just kind of doing a quick kind of natural medicine cabinet overhaul, I tried to pick the 13 things that we actually use around here. We use in my own household that we use most commonly. And I think that are the easiest swaps to start with. So this is kind of your starting point. So again, these are exact remedies that I keep in my home, that we keep stocked. I'm going to walk you through what they do, how to use them, why they work. And I'll also share some of the brands that I use so that you're not wasting products, right? Scrolling Instagram, something looks like it might be useful. You spend money on it, and then you're not really sure how to use it or what to do with it or even that it works. So I'm going to try to share products with you that I know will actually help. So if you have ever wanted to build a natural medicine cabinet, but you really weren't sure where to start, then I would say get ready, grab a notebook, or we'll have a checklist they're able to download at the end of this episode in the show notes. And so let's go ahead and just dive in. Okay, so before we dive in, let's talk about why every mom needs to build a natural medicine cabinet. And I think our biggest goal is that we are prepared instead of being reactive. So when I am prepared, and I have the things that I need, then I'm going to be better able to support the body in the moment. We know that no one gets a stomach bug at like 2 p.m. It's always 3 a.m, 3 a.m, right? And it's always the way that it goes, or someone wakes up with that fever or that horrible cough, or it always happens in the middle of the night. So if we have some of the basic supports in our cabinets, then we're not going to have last minute trips to the store, those 10 p.m. runs, and we just have the basics on hand. We also, with these remedies, want to work to support the body. I don't want to just suppress symptoms, right? So I'm doing Tylenol and ibuprofen. I'm suppressing symptoms, right? And sometimes that might be necessary, but overall, our goal is really to support the body so that we can help it best heal the way that it was designed to. Also, I want you to feel confident in being able to care for your family. So you don't have to feel lost when your kiddo wakes up sick. My goal is for you to kind of know what to grab and what to use. This episode will kind of be a launching pad or starting point to talk about some of those things. And then we'll deeper dive into some specific things like allergies and coughs and things like that as we move on. But we'll just get some of the basics out today. So think of this kind of like an emergency kit for your family, except instead of Band-Aids and painkillers, we're going to be stocking like safe remedies that actually are going to work and help support the body. Okay, so let's break down these remedies. We're just going to kind of get right to it. This is going to be very practical. The first thing is, I don't even know how to say it, guys. Is it Xlear, Xlear nasal spray? This is for allergies, sinus support, clears out allergens, super easy to use. It's non-addictive like some of the other nasal sprays like Flonase and some other things like that. It's going to reduce sinus inflammation, prevents sinus infections. So very helpful. Like 1 to 2 sprays per nostril. You can do morning, night. Really great during allergy season. I'm here in Arizona where everything is blooming right now. And so most of us who have any issues with allergies, those are really starting to creep up. So this can be really helpful. You can get this on Amazon, CVS, easy thing to grab. Next is reishi. This is probably one of my absolute most favorite supplements for my own personal health walk. This really changed things rapidly for me. This is the one product that I can really say, if I had to pick one thing that really made a difference, it was this. Reishi works on the immune system. It's great for respiratory illnesses, inflammation, histamine intolerance. So it's really kind of like a jack of all trades. Very, very helpful. I personally love King Coffee. You've heard me talk about that. I've seen it on social media. I drink it every single morning. I have for years, sometimes 2 or 3 times. It has less caffeine, so much health benefit to it. So I really enjoy that. Another option is like an organo reishi spore powder. This is actually 80 times more potent than regular reishi. So awesome. I use this with a lot of my clients. But Supreme is another great brand for another option for reishi. This, depending on how it comes, it can be a capsule, sometimes a tincture, a powder, depending on which one you get. It's great for adults and kids. And so this is a really, really great immune support to keep in your cabinet, and really to use more on a preventative or daily basis is a great option. Number 3 is one that most of you have heard of, and that is elderberry syrup. Of course, it is awesome for cold and flu prevention. It's good for recovery, super powerful antiviral properties that really help shorten colds and flu. In seasons or when you're around a lot of sick people, kids in daycare, schools in the winter, to go ahead and just use it preventatively can actually be a really great option. Depending on the brand that you grab, usually it's about a teaspoon for daily prevention. Of course, you always want to look at the directions. You can take this multiple times a day when you are actually ill and go down. So very easy. You can actually make it yourself if you do one of the DIY options. I am not a DIY person. I have tried so often. Probably the only thing I really make in my house, I do make bone broth and I do make fire cider. But outside of that, I'm just not a DIYer. So I don't do that myself. So really great options. This is very readily accessible, like Sprouts, Whole Foods is where we grab it around here, but natural health food store, very easy. The next one, also very common, vitamin D. It's very easy to supplement. It makes a huge, huge difference. Again, I live in Arizona, so we're out in the sun a lot. But even at that, depending on genetics and some different factors, just because you're in the sun doesn't actually mean that you are absorbing as much vitamin D as you could or should be. So of course, ultimately having those levels checked and seeing where you're at is definitely ideal. But I love Da Vinci Labs, ADK, great for bone health, immune support, good for hormonal support. Again, it's a blend of A, D, and K. So it's going to do strong bones, immune function, great for heart health. It's essential for proper calcium absorption and reducing inflammation. So that's like the tiniest snapshot of what those 3 vitamins can help with, but very, very helpful to have in your cabinet. Very great for preventative care. Again, and you can usually these are just drops that you're taking. Sometimes it might be a supplement. I generally myself move more towards tinctures or drops, especially for kids. If we're not doing them straight into the mouth, you can do them in a juice, just very easy to administer. I do, though, want to caution with vitamin D. A lot of my clients lately, I'm seeing really, really high levels of vitamin D. And so I think it's promoted a lot as a supplement. Everyone needs vitamin D. Just take it. It's very easy to administer. And all of those things are true, but we can actually get too much of it. And it is a fat soluble vitamin. So it's not something that we just urinate out if we have too much. And when these levels build, it affects calcium levels. It can affect the thyroid actually in a negative way. So if just cautioning that we do want to keep an eye on these levels, and you don't want to just blindly supplement tons and tons of vitamin D. We want to be within reason. If you're in a very sunny environment, you probably don't need as much as someone who lives somewhere like Seattle or Alaska, where it's just a little bit more gloomy. So just be mindful. Definitely work with a practitioner on that, but very, very helpful, especially in illness, but also just for regular preventative care. The next one I absolutely love, bee propolis. You can get this as a throat spray. You can get it even as an allergy spray. Awesome for immune system. Super easy, tastes good, very easy to get. You can get this also on Amazon usually, but at any health food store. It's antibacterial, antiviral, has great immune supporting properties, but makes it great for sore throats and colds. Awesome. So anything that's really easy for my kiddos, right, that I know that they're not going to fight me on taking, if necessary, is awesome. And I know that everyone wants to hear what those are. So this is a really great one for that. You just spray it directly into the throat several times a day. You can do it, again, preventatively or right the time of illness. And I actually, I didn't have this on the list, but I'm going to throw Manuka honey actually in here as well, since I just mentioned sore throat. Great option. You can actually take it straight. You can take it, you can put it in a little bit of hot water with lemon and drink it. But Manuka honey has a lot of very great properties, antiviral, antibacterial. You can actually use it topically as well if necessary. Okay, number 6 is Oscillico coconium. This is a homeopathic flu remedy. Again, very readily available. This is going to help reduce flu severity, recovery time when taken early. So as soon as you start seeing those symptoms kind of pop up, this is a great thing to have on hand. And so it's super easy to use. You're just going to dissolve like a vial of pellets underneath the tongue at the first sign of flu symptoms. There are hundreds of homeopathic remedies. They're awesome, but sometimes it's hard to know what to take when. And this is just a really great option that kind of covers all of the bases. So that's why this one's kind of promoted a lot. And you will see that if you are more into homeopathy, there are specifics that you can grab based off specific symptoms, but definitely work with a practitioner if you are unsure of that. I also really love, I think it's Chestal that makes the cough and mucus one. So we just had that junk go through our house with that, you lose your voice and you get kind of the mucus in the back of the throat, the postnasal drip, and then the cough lingers for another 2 weeks or so. And that Chestal cough and mucus actually saved a few of us very quickly from it lasting as long as it did for other people. So that's kind of another favorite. So very easy to grab. Number 7, okay, this isn't necessarily a remedy, but it's red light therapy. It's healing. It reduces inflammation, promotes circulation, awesome for cellular repair. It's great for immune health, sleep, skin healing. So this is definitely, if you were going to pick one tool, like a wellness tool to have, this is definitely would be the one. It's actually really great for helping boost mood, especially low mood in like seasonal affective disorder. Sad, if you live somewhere that it's cold and gloomy, you don't get to see the sun very often. This would be a really great option. So it's super easy. You sit in front of the panel and you start with like 5 to 10 minutes daily. We actually have a panel, but I also have a small loom box, so like travel size. And so when my kids are eating breakfast, I'll set it out. Or even if they're doing homework, I might set it out just like in front of them. And yes, I do get eye rolls, but it's very easy for them to get some of that red light, especially at times when we are not feeling well. It's been a little bit gloomy. We don't have that as often here in Phoenix, although this week actually was that way. It was pretty rainy for us and pretty nice. But red light, super easy. Love it. Okay, so number 8 is actually for gut and immune support. And I'm actually going to throw another one in here that I don't have listed, but Mega IgG. So this is going to help seal the gut lining. It helps improve digestion, supports immune function. Really good for kids with tummy issues. Adults as well, food sensitivities. We've got some leaky gut going on there. If we're someone who's getting frequent illness and we just want to have a general gut support, this is a really great option. You can take it as a powder or a capsule. We usually use the powder myself because I can regulate a little bit more what the dosage is that way. Another great option for kids is Intestimend. And so this is, I think Brainchild Nutritionals makes that. It's got some sodium butyrate in there. It's got a lot of other great properties that are going to help with the lining of the stomach wall. And so when we have leaky gut, we have these tight junctions that have opened up, and that wall is supposed to have those junctions closed. And when they open is when particles and foods and a host of different things can get through the gut wall into the bloodstream that aren't supposed to be there. And then the body mounts a response and we get different types of inflammation. This is how leaky gut is occurring. So Brainchild Nutritionals and Intestimend is going to be a really good option to help with that. So those are kind of my go-tos for tummy troubles. The next is throat coat tea. And this is great for sore throat. It's great for cough relief. You can just grab it at the store, irritates the throat, helps to reduce the coughing, tastes good. You can add a little bit of honey. You can add a little bit of the Manuka honey in there. Great for just like soothing benefits, very readily available. All right, next is magnesium. Again, something that we have heard about a lot. I'm going to talk about one that you may not have heard of as much, and this is Earthly Magnesium Lotion. And so this is great for sleep, anxiety, immune health. It's going to help relax the muscles, improve sleep, calm the nervous system. We burn through magnesium and zinc and B vitamins under stress. And so this is really essential that we are getting these nutrients back in, especially if we're not getting them from the diet. So I love the lotion because I don't like to supplement kids with 50 different supplements. And so using a lotion is great. It's also really calming before bed. We can do a little bit of massage. You can stick it on the bottoms of the feet or the legs, or if we're having some constipation issues, this is a great one that we can rub clockwise kind of around the belly button to help stimulate the bowels. So yeah, this is a great option. Of course, for an adult, we can do regular magnesium as well on top of the lotion. Epsom salt baths are a great way to get magnesium, adding 2 to 3 cups of Epsom salts unscented to bath water. And of course, you can supplement magnesium as well. Number 11 is another, I guess, more of a tool than it is a supplement, but definitely considered a remedy. And this is a castor oil pack. And these are really great for detox, lymphatic support, and also reducing inflammation, helping with digestion, hormonal imbalance. So there's a whole host of issues that these can be really helpful for. It's also really great for constipation and bloating and detoxing the liver. So kind of this is one of those things that sort of is just a winner to have in the cabinet. You are going to, I personally love the Queen of Thrones castor oil pack. It comes in both a kid size and an adult size. Even the kid size I find is pretty good. So even if you're a smaller adult, the kid size is actually a great option. But you're literally just going to apply organic castor oil to that, put it on 30 to 60 minutes. You can sleep in it. Although if you're just starting out, I definitely recommend just a shorter time period, just because the amount of detox that can occur can be a lot in the beginning. But this is great. It can go on injuries. So it's not necessarily just for the liver. You can put it directly over the abdomen. You can put it on a specific injury that you have to help with inflammation. So very, very helpful. All right, number 12 is for the kiddos with ear infections and sinus issues. And so mullein garlic oil is actually really helpful. It's going to help with ear infections, congestion, super easy to use. You're just putting 1 to 2 drops in the affected ear. You can even warm it slightly before use. There are a lot of other ear infection options that, again, on another episode, I'll dive into a little bit more. But this is also great. Grab it at Sprouts, Whole Foods, get it online. Very easy, has saved us multiple times. My kids actually weren't prone to ear infections so much younger, but we do a lot of water activities. We're lake people, we're ocean people. And so, and we swim constantly, especially out here in Arizona when our summers are 120 degrees. There's not a whole lot else to do. And so this garlic oil actually saved us multiple times. Also using lemon essential oil and lavender actually around the ear or putting on a cotton ball and actually just setting the cotton ball near the ear helps to draw some of the water out. But this oil can also really help with ear congestion that can then turn into infection. So that is number 12. The last one I have for you is actually Takasumi. And so this is a natural binder. It removes toxins, can help with removing heavy metals from the body. But most importantly, the reason I'm mentioning it today is if you get food poisoning or you get the stomach bug, you want to have this on hand. It can help reduce vomiting. Okay, this is also going to help with brain fog, bloating, fatigue that's going to be caused by the toxic buildup that we get in the body. We talked on a previous episode about drainage and what happens when that drainage system gets backed up, then the toxins build up, and then our brain barrels, they start overflowing and we start to experience symptoms. So what Takasumi does, it's a binder. It actually binds to those toxins, to the heavy metals to get things out of the body. Virus particles, all those things that are there that aren't supposed to be. And so when we have food poisoning or a stomach bug, while they're great to have an emergency use, these can also be used, especially if you're working with a practitioner in other protocols, actually to help soak up some of those toxins per se and get them out a little bit quicker. So definitely one to have on hand. You do want to take this away from food and supplements because it is a binder. So you don't want to take a supplement and then bind that good supplement to get it out of the body. So it's definitely something that we take away. Ideally an hour, at least 30 minutes away from those. Okay, so now you know what to stock. That is just literally a snapshot, again, of some of the great things. And I'll continue to share more of those. But I hope that's helpful for you to start to get a little bit of a build of that cabinet for you. I definitely want to encourage you to start small. So pick 2 to 3 things maybe that are mentioned today and build over time. Or as you run out of something, be replacing. Or no, my kid's really prone to respiratory. And so having some of those things that we talked about, having that throat spray on on hand. Having a castor oil pack, having reishi might be the things that I definitely want to have in my cabinet. My kid's more prone to stomach bugs. Have the takasumi, be sure that it's there. That's what I recommend for everybody because you never know when that's going to hit, right? And it's just nice to have. It is important to buy high quality brands. So not all supplements are created equal. Many of them are filled with fillers. They are filled with additives. I know a couple of things I did mention that you could get on Amazon for things like the castor oil pack, that's fine. But you do want to be careful with certain products because there has been a lot of scams actually where people will take a product and like fill it with a blank and stick it in the bottle and then send it on. There's no quality assurance that's happening there. So just be very careful with that. And so many supplements are filled with fillers and additives. You really want to be mindful. Definitely store them properly. Of course, you want to keep them accessible. Some of them do need to be stored in the dark or not in bright light. So you want to be careful with that. And then, of course, know when to use natural remedies versus when you need to seek medical care. Of course, we're going to have this disclaimer here. But some situations require professional help. A super high fever, difficulty breathing, use your discernment, be mindful of when that is necessary and needed. This is, of course, in no way to say that you absolutely do not need those. There is a time and a place, but it is nice to have these natural supports when we can use them. So I hope that today's episode is giving you the confidence to build a natural medicine cabinet that helps you take control of your family's health. If you want a simple printable checklist of everything we talked about today, plus tips on where to grab them, you can grab my free guide. I'll have an essentials every mom needs in her natural medicine cabinet. And the link will be in the show notes. And if you loved this episode, please send me a DM on Instagram. Share it with a mom friend who absolutely needs to hear this. And let's help more moms feel more confident instead of overwhelmed when it comes to their family's health. So until next time, keep pressing into wisdom, take small steps forward, and know that you are fully capable of leading your family in health and wellness. Thank you for tuning in to Design Foundations. I hope today's episode left you feeling encouraged and equipped to take meaningful steps towards building a healthier, more intentional life for you and your family. If you found value in this conversation, I'd love for you to share it with someone else who might need this encouragement today. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling inspired, leave a review. It helps this message reach more families like yours. Until next time, remember, true wellness starts with a strong foundation, rooted in faith, and grows with intentional care. Take care, and I'll see you next week.
This podcast is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. The information shared is not a substitute for professional medical care. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health or wellness routine.